Okay, first, every situation, every person is individual. It's you can't take one you can't really take one situation and map it over everything because there are so many exceptions to the rules. Um, the second thing, nobody is ever against anybody else. They are only ever for themselves. Well, you're stealing their time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's women feel threatened by women. See this idea in society, this anti-male Western European society, this idea that men threaten women. Don't get me wrong. There's a part of that in the world, and it's horrible, and it should not exist, and we need to stop it. But women threaten women as much as men threaten women.
Of course.
It's this threat concept where you can either choose to work with people in your environment or you can choose to feel threatened by them and try to alienate them. And the more mature mentality accepts reality as it is what it is and tries to work with it, the less mature mentality tries to kill everything because everything is a threat. Everything is a everything is a virus, and we we must be we must be anti-bio and kill every organism that is not native to what we know and to what we experience. A part of that will be the biological connection with the natural parents, and part of that will be uh, a reaction to this feeling that someone is stealing time away from them. Um, and a part of that will be laziness because you have to work to get to know people. And you have to want to get to know people. First, you have to want to get to know somebody. Then you have to work to get to know somebody. You have to learn about them, and then you have to make decisions about them. So if you don't first want, and very often there's not even a want to get to know somebody, you just attack them. And the thing is, it gets harder to dislike people that you know better because you begin to understand their problems. And if you, and that's why it's so easy to have arguments on the internet, for example. People argue all the time on the internet because they don't take the time to get to know each other. It's just, I think this and you think that and you're bad and I'm good and I'm right and you're wrong and that's the end. And they call each other names, um, which 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 is not getting anywhere. The truth is that you have to want to know somebody first before you can actually get to know them. And what's that old saying? Know, like, trust. Yeah, know, like, trust. So first, you have to get to know the person. Then you have to decide if you like parts of their personality, because you can't like everything, and you have to decide what works for you. And then, if you get through the process of knowledge and through the process of understanding and beginning to like the person, then finally you can trust the person. And this is not something you can do in a weekend. This takes maybe a year. You could probably do it in less than a year. And some people are faster at it than others. The older people will generally make better decisions than younger people. Younger. In fact, kids kind of tend to do the opposite, which is they trust and they like, and then they get to know a person. So it's kind of backwards for kids. The kids just automatically trust everybody, everywhere that they're gonna tell the truth, and it's partly because society has not prepared them correctly to have the skills of discernment to realize the differences between right and wrong in things. Um, Society is very much based on ethics, but um, truth is very much built upon morality. And understanding that ethics are cultural, but morality is um, foundational and underpinning everything. What ethics means. What's good for this culture might be bad for the other culture, and that's okay. Good can become bad, bad can become good. It's all cultural, situational. But morality is, what's bad is always bad. So thou shalt not kill. Go through the list of commandments in the Bible. Go through and start with the 10 and then go on to the other ones. These are things that were bad 2,000 years ago, and they're still bad today. These are foundational morals. So it's hard on it's hard on the kids. It's hard stepping into the role of being somewhat a surrogate parent in another family. And it's a big responsibility to take on. And it's a responsibility that the majority of people fail at. They fail because it's just too complicated. And they have to just accept differences and understand that they can't solve all of the world's mistakes, even if they want to solve them. So it's hard, and people want to protect their own environment, and this manifests itself in aggression that appears to be against me. But if you look at any conflict, people are usually the aggression is just an expression of protecting or defending some belief that they have. So it's hard, and we all want to be liked. And when we're not liked, we suffer. Now, there's an argument for why do we not take this on? But at the same time, show me a person that doesn't want to be liked by other people. Everybody wants to be in a community. Everybody wants connection with people. And we want to be liked and respected by the people that we surround ourselves with. So why do you accept this hatred? Because it's real. But it's real. To ignore it is to ignore reality. Now you can argue it's like if somebody wants to put now to understand the non-physical, you have to understand the physical because they can both kill you, right? That which is physical can kill you, and that which is not physical can also kill you. People die of a broken heart, right? It happens. Why do you accept the hate? Because if someone takes a real knife and they put it through your heart, it's painful. Would you ask someone then, why do you accept it? Well, it's like there's a knife in my heart. There's not much I can do. It is. Well, but why do you accept it? Well, it's a knife in my heart. There's not much I can do. And so to say to somebody, just be blind to the fact that there's a knife in your heart, is saying let's ignore reality.
Yeah.
And we can't ignore reality. Why do you let this affect you? Why are you wet? I was like, because it's raining. Right? I can't ignore the rain and not be wet.
Mhm.
It's reality.
Yeah.
And the just because it's not physical does not mean that I'm not hurt by it.
Mhm.
Because we can be hurt by the non-physical as much as we can by the physical. And there's a strong argument for the fact that we can be more hurt by the non-physical because we can't see it and we don't expect it and other people don't understand it. Look, if someone's walking down the street with one arm, they've only got one arm, right? They're walking down the street. You can feel sympathy for that person because they've only got one arm. But if someone's walking down the street with a broken heart, you don't feel any sympathy at all because you don't know their heart is broken. And maybe that person's got a broken heart. Maybe they go and climb a bridge and jump off because they're in so much pain. But no one sees the pain. We must accept reality if we're going to live.
Mhm.
Because if we don't, it's an illusion. We have to. Why do you accept it? Because it's there. Because it's real. Because these are people, and I care about them. And if I don't care about what it is that they're doing, then I don't care about them. And well, should I live blind and pretend that it doesn't exist? Um, yeah, am I bulletproof? No. Nobody's bulletproof, right? We all get hurt. Um, and when people are negative towards us, when they don't like us, if they're nasty, if they have hate, these things play on our relationships psychologically, and they affect us, and sometimes more than what is physical, because what is physical we can try to heal in some kind of physical way, but what is emotional is, the emotional scars are much more difficult to heal, and people think that they don't matter because people think that, if you cut someone with a knife, it's terrible and it's a crime and you can go to prison. But if you say to somebody something really horrible and ugly and evil, like, "Ah, fuck you, you bitch," that's not a crime. That's okay. Well, that's not okay, right? Because the person is hurt. Now, I don't think that a verbal crime is the same as a physical crime. I'm not arguing it's the same thing. I'm not, because I believe that we should all have free speech and we should all be able to say whatever it is that we want to say, the good, the bad, the ugly. I don't think we should limit language. But that doesn't mean that we should not be polite and respectful and careful and care for other people with our words and our thoughts and our ideas. And um, what would be a loving, caring response to the situation? A loving, caring response would be, and once again, this is we flip everything 180 degrees and we imagine the opposite. Imagine it's not hate, imagine it's love, right? What would be a loving response? A loving response would be somebody coming to you and saying, "Thank you for coming into our family. We really respect the fact that it must be difficult for you to come into a family like our family where so many things are difficult, meaning messed up. um, and we realize that it's going to be hard for you to fit in. So we'd like you to know that we're here to support you in any way with anything that you need. And you can call on us at any time. And we don't want you to think that we're thinking that you're taking time away from us. We know that you need your time with our Father as much as we need with our Father. But please respect the fact that we feel like we come first in the situation. But I'm sure there's a way that we can all work things out, and we can all get a little bit of what we need. But that didn't happen, right?
No.
Exactly. That didn't happen. Because in 99% of cases, that doesn't happen.
Mhm.
Because we're walking into a tornado where everything is spinning and everyone is spinning. and it's chaos and disorder and confusion and angst and anger and anxiety and positioning and fear and all of these things mixed in together that mean that the situation is not balanced. And then it's very hard to come into that situation. And what very often happens, and I think this is maybe true for you, is that because you're an outsider coming in, you can see more. Because the people from outside of the box have a greater perspective of what the box is, what the box means, and that's a threat to people inside the box um, because everyone's built their reality on what is an actual fact of fantasy. And the example for this is you have, what's the classic example? Crabs. You know what crabs are, the sea creatures. Yeah. And you get crabs and you put them in a bucket. Yeah. Now, the crabs can actually climb up and escape from the bucket. But what happens is that one crab climbs to the top and all the other crabs reach up and pull that crab back down again. It's a common analogy because it's actually true. That if you get crabs and put them in a bucket, it's actually possible for the crabs to escape. But what happens is the crabs at the bottom realize that if one crab escapes, then it changes the situation for everybody, so they pull the crab back down so the crab doesn't escape. So everybody could help everybody to have something which is more positive, which is better. Everybody could help everybody escape from the problem. But everybody is so much invested in the problems existing that it's actually better for them to have the negativity than work or change to have the positivity or realize that there's another way to do things. Do you know that there's another way? Another way? Oh my gosh, oh no. But we don't do that. We don't do that. Not in this family. No, 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 no. Right? So the easiest thing to do is to attack the person who maybe has the weakest links in the situation, the newest member, perhaps, of the team, and that's what happens in a lot of families. They are. At times it feels like people are dogs marking their territories. Yeah, this is our space. This is
Yeah.
our territory.
Oh,
This is
sweet.
yeah. And look, if you can't make the new people, the visitors, welcome, how is anybody ever going to be welcome? They're not, and the children will take the anger at their parents out on you because it's easier for them. It's easier for them to hate you than it is to hate their parents. Um, because what they don't understand is that love and hate are two sides of the same coin. You cannot hate something if there's not an element of love there, because there's nothing to react against. In all hate, there is an element of love. But most people don't go deep enough to find out that. They just see hate on the surface. Because to hate something is to protect something, and to protect something is to love something. But the truth is you can't express love through hate, but people do that because they don't understand that it's two sides of the same coin.
Mm.
Well, it's ignorance to hate things or people that you don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't take time to get to know people, you don't understand them. So therefore, this argument that somebody hates you, they would have to know you really well to hate you. And there are people that I don't like very much, but um, I try to base my communication with them on some kind of intellectual concept where emotions are not really very relevant there. Um, Look, people go to work every day and go to school every day and get on with people that they don't like. Why can't they do it in other places? I mean, going to school is just learning to manage your hate for people because you have to spend all day with people you don't like. Well, some people you like, but some you don't like, right? So you have to manage your own emotional state. So there are lessons to be learned from all experiences, and they're never the lessons that we're told that we should learn. They're always other lessons. School. The lessons that people learn from school are very different from what people are told that they learn. People learn very, very useful abstract skills in school, like how to manage boredom. It's a skill that students learn in school, how to manage boredom, because students spend most of their time bored to death in school because they don't get to read anything they like, they don't get to study anything they're interested in, and they don't get to go anywhere that they want to go. So the result is they have to manage their own boredom. And so there are all these skills that we can then and that we should apply to life.